here, and today we have Tommy. Now, Tommy is a guy that I've known. I can almost say I've known him for a while. I've spoken to him on Facebook before. I've promoted products of his before. I never actually spoke to him face to face. So, Tom, I'm actually really excited to talk to you for the first time in like 2 years now.
Yeah, man, it's a trip. This whole internet marketing thing. You know someone for years, and it's like you never have a face to face with them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of the interesting aspects of this business is that you can actually know somebody and work with somebody without ever actually talking to them or meeting them.
I know. I read a story about the two guys that came up with Fiverr, and I guess they're on different sides of the planet. And after X amount of years, and God knows how many tens of millions of dollars, they still haven't met, and they don't want to meet because they think that's going to get jinxed or something. So they actually haven't met physically.
My business partner, Mike from Maine, I do a lot of work with him. We've done well over $1 million in business together. I've never met him once. My graphics designer, I've paid him 6 figures in fees. I've never met him once. So it's pretty interesting. But today we're here, and we finally took the time to speak to each other, and we're talking about your arbitrage sugar daddy. I love the name of that product. That is the coolest name ever.
Thanks, man. We try to stay creative.
So for anybody that doesn't know Tom has been in the iron business for quite a while. He's well established, well known, and well respected. And one of the things I like about Tom is that he doesn't abandon his stuff. A lot of people, they do the launch and then that's it. And they're like kind of almost, for lack of a better term, they're kind of one-trick ponies. But Tom is really an OG marketer. He actually sells his stuff ongoing. He updates it, he improves it ongoing, and I'm really excited to hear about Arbitrage Sugar Daddy. So Tom, bring us into it.
Yeah. Well, what it does is I've sold and I've trained people on arbitrage for over 3 years now, and there was one prevalent problem that exists within that method and anything else arbitrage, and that's unreliability. Just super quickly, for those of you who don't know what arbitrage is you grab a guy on say Craigslist that wants to pay $300 for a logo, and you find the guy on Fiverr that does it for $5, a highly qualified guy. You get a great looking logo for $5, and you deliver it to the guy, and you made $295, which is great in theory, but in practice, it's not always that great because some of these guys are unreliable. A lot of times, the client doesn't like the first version, so he wants a revision. Now you got to wait 24 hours, and sometimes by the time this is all done, you lose the client, because of the back and forth and all that stuff.
I can also see, real quick, I can also see that being an issue where, say, you hire me, and I hire you, you're going to do a logo for me, you arbitrage it to somebody else, you give me the logo, and I say, yeah, it's real cool, but I just want the font slightly different. Now you're trying to even find that guy on Fiverr. You go back to him and you say, can you make this change? It might take 24 hours, but you might go back and he might be like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm not doing any more jobs right now.
Yeah, exactly. And also, a lot of times clients will ask you technical questions, which will be super simple from a graphical, from a graphic designer, but you don't have a clue. So now you got to wait 24 hours to deliver the answer. So it can get awkward. So what we did with Arbitrage Sugar Daddy is we solved that problem by actually teaching people the skills. So, what we've done is we've taken a bunch of different skills, the most popular skills like creating logos and this and that, and we have put together a training where people actually learn a skill in 1 hour. In other words, in 1 hour, let's say logos, you will be able to be a professional logo designer. And the way we do that is by using templates and all kinds of stuff, so that, it's kind of sounds unbelievable, like within 1 hour you're gonna be a graphic designer, but it actually works, and it's a really cool way of eliminating that third guy, and also you actually learn a craft all by yourself that you can, that can bring you money for a long time to come, that you can use on a bunch of other stuff too.
Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that I'm going to learn how to create these logos or learn how to create these ebook covers, first thing that comes to my mind is, even if I don't want to do this as a service, it's still cool to learn this. But the second thing that comes to my mind is, am I going to have to buy Photoshop?
No, no, and that's the cool thing, because the tool that we utilize, which you'll find out about inside the course, is a built-in everything where you don't need Photoshop or anything. It's all within that one tool, so everything happens there. You just grab templates, you grab this, you grab that, you put it all together, and you use the tutorials to learn how to do it. You learn what not to do, you learn what to do, and it's one of those things where if you're a graphic designer watching this launch, you're just going to shake your head and kind of tremble, because you're gonna be looking at a lot of competition.
Okay, so realistically speaking, I can actually learn how to do these skills in 1 hour. And then once I learn how to do these skills, the idea is then instead of outsourcing this to somebody else, so it kind of isn't arbitrage at this point, right? I'm just providing this as a service to people.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's actually not arbitrage, because arbitrage involves three people, but, we choose to call it arbitrage because a lot of people who prefer that business model will recognize this, and, they'll be drawn to this particular product, and then they will see that, wow, I can actually learn how to do it myself.
Yeah, no, that's good. And there's definitely, I can see that there's definitely advantages in knowing how to do it yourself, because like you said, you don't have to rely on a third person that you don't even know. I mean, they might disappear on you. When I was a freelance developer, I used to do that. I was for a large percentage of what I was doing was arbitrage. People were hiring me to write the code that they were then selling to somebody else. And I used to get a lot of jobs just because I was reliable. I would talk to a lot of clients and they would say, I'm so glad that you actually show up for the meetings, and I'm so glad that you actually answer my phone calls. And that's how I got a lot of jobs. But what that showed me is that there's a lot of people that are doing these service providers that aren't reliable, that aren't showing up, that are disappearing in the middle of the job. I made my living by being one of the people that didn't. And so that there must be a lot of people that do, vanish and stuff.
Yeah.
And by knowing these skills and understanding how to do these skills yourself, I'm really going to have to go over that training, because it's a pretty big claim to say I'm going to be able to make logos in an hour, though. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to scrutinize that members area pretty well.
No, I want you to. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's it's really mind-blowing stuff, but it really works. And the great thing is once you've learned the skill, the delivery of the skill is not something you're going to sit there and slave all day for. Like some of the basic things like Facebook marketing, logos and stuff like that, it literally takes 15 minutes to do once you get it down. And yeah, no, I want you to go into the membership area and scrutinize all you want, because this stuff is pretty mind-blowing, and our results speak for ourselves. On the sales page you can see all that, real people, and I made a point out of putting their first name, last name, city, and state, so that people know that these are actual, not fictional people, but these are my students who have done the method, and they're actually, they're making money hand over fist with it.
Okay, so what are we looking at price-wise for this?
We're looking at a $10 product. I believe there's some kind of an early bird starting around $7 or $8. So it's a very, very affordable way to get in the door with this.
So realistically speaking, even if you don't want to do this as a service, it's worth paying the $7 to $10 just to learn the skill set yourself. And say, I want to learn how to do these logos, because I actually get logos made, and I get stuff made. I get e-covers made, and I hire somebody. I pay my graphics designer. That the guy I was talking about earlier that I paid 6 figures to over the last couple of years. He's the one that does all that stuff for me. So even if I didn't want to sell this as a service, for a lot of people, it's going to be worth just learning how to do it for your own self.
Absolutely. No, it's going to come in really handy for anything that you do in marketing wise.
What about upsells? Is there any OTOs, any extra features available, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 OTOs. OTO 1 is a done-for-you study. What it is 4 additional skills. And that sounds kind of generic, but it really isn't. Because what happens is when you get a client, most of the clients are little companies. They don't want to outsource to a bunch of different people. Once you deliver a job that they're happy with, say that you do a logo, a lot of times they'll say, well, cool, can you do our website, or can you do this, or can you do that? And website creation is not part of the basic package, so you'll be going, no, sorry, I can't, but we can pay you $1,000. So you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. So what we did is we researched the market, and we found the 4 skills that repeatedly people ask for. And so we teach those 4 skills, so that in pretty much any given situation, when you have gotten a client and he starts asking you for other services, you can actually deliver it. And then we train also in that OTO, we train people on 3 additional sites in addition to Upwork, so that they can, if they want to put in the time, they can literally make 3 times the money.
I can actually attest to that, what you just said, that it's actually true, because again, well, I used to be a freelancer, which is largely arbitrage. And it's definitely providing a skill. And things would start, like a lot of the clients that I would get, it would start with something small, like, hey, Brett, can you move our site from one server to another? And I would do that. I would make them happy. I would do it in 24 hours. They love me. They pay me. And then wouldn't you know it, a day or two later, they'd be like, Brett, we wanted to make this change to that website. Can you do that as well? And I'd be like, yes, I can, actually. And before you know it, I got a long-term client that's giving me long-term work. If I didn't have multiple skills, I wouldn't be able to do that, and I would have lost them. They would have went to somebody else that could provide the things that they needed. So these upsells are going to give you a whole bag of tricks to provide to people, as opposed to just one thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very valuable, because I hate seeing when I promote other people, and then I hate seeing when I look at their OTO1 and OTO2, and it's completely worthless. And the only reason they have OTOs is to make more money, so I made sure that, if you're going to buy the OTO, you're really going to get value. The OTO2 is basically case studies. If you see on the sales page some of those testimonials, we took 2 of those guys, and they sent me reports on what exactly they did, and I did Skype interviews with them where I take everyone through every step, well, not every step, but the main steps of their business. So you get to see, not just in theory, but in real life, how it works. And, especially this one kid, Benji, he's only 17 years old, and he's like a mini Steve Jobs. He really went with it. He's making like $6 grand a month now. And what he does in addition on OTO2 is he offered free unlimited email coaching for life for anyone who wants to pick his brain about it, and because towards the end of that interview, he talks about one thing that he does to automate upsells and stuff like that, so you don't ever have to sit there and ask people for money, which everyone hates doing anyways, and that gets a little complex. So anyone who grabs OTO2, they literally have access to him anytime they want to pick his brain about it, which is, it's pretty astonishing. And he may regret having said that, because he's going to get a lot of people asking him, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's a good thing about this is things like this, and it's for everybody, things that are online. The internet doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care how young you are. It doesn't care where you live. It doesn't care if you're white, black, red, green, or yellow. It doesn't care. As long as you provide value, you're going to make money. As long as you put the effort in, you're going to make money. Literally, the internet is the epiphany of free market. It's out there. You just got to reach your hand out and grab it. And this is going to give people a skill set that they can not only use in their own business, but that they could also sell to make money as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love talking to this kid, and anyone who grabs that OTO2, they're going to love it too, because he's so entrepreneurial. He's like the most inspiring 17-year-old I think that I've talked to. He's like, oh yeah, and then I do Bing advertising, and then I do, like, he does stuff that I didn't even think about until like years into my internet marketing, so it's pretty cool to have access to a guy like that.
So is there anything that we missed? Anything that we didn't cover?
Well, I think, one thing that's really important is that I'm not going to say most, but in a lot of internet marketing products, it's just about doing a method. You push YouTube, or you do CPA, or you do Fiverr, or you do whatever you do, and you make the money, and then that's great. With this, it sounds cheesy, but the feel-good factor is involved, because you actually get to make a difference for someone using your own skills, and it feels absolutely mind-blowing. Like for me and for you, when we have students, when we teach them, or if you get feedback from people who have bought our products, and it feels really good because it's impacting their lives because of our talents, and so with this product, people will have that same opportunity, because they will learn these skills, and they will probably do that, and there's a big difference between just doing something generic and have PayPal pump out money for you, and actually know that, wow, I made a difference. It makes you feel proud, and again, these skills will sustain you for your whole career online.
Yeah, no, I can totally get what you're saying. I mean, if I do an affiliate promo and I make $1,000, I'm like, okay, that's great, I made $1,000. But if I give somebody one of my softwares, or sell them one of my softwares, and they write me an email and they say, hey, Brett, this helped me, I'm like, yeah, all right. There's a big difference there.
Yeah, there's passion in there,
All right, Tom. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. I know that you're probably really busy with your launch. It comes out tomorrow at what time?
At 11 a.m. Central.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. So we're about 23 hours away. So I won't keep you. I'm sure you got a million things to do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I want to appreciate, tell you that I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And it was really cool to finally talk to you for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah, right back at you. And thanks for having me, man.
All right, have a good one, Tom.
I too.